Overwatch is not a cool game. Maybe it never was, but at least for a little while, it was respected. Overwatch was huge. With that came a lot of people who really wanted it to die. A lot of people thought the game was kind of cringe because of its community, and sometimes rightfully so. And that caused it to catch a lot of strays, which caused for people to want something called the Overwatch Killer. The Overwatch Killer has been around for a long time as a concept. What if we talk about Paladins, shitty ass game, Lawbreakers, who? Apex Legends? That's a battle royale, but it's a great game. Definitely not an Overwatch Killer. For a while there, the biggest competition to Overwatch was definitely Valorant. Whenever Riot announced that they were gonna do a new hero shooter, I was shitting bricks, because I was already flamed all the time for liking Overwatch, and if Riot came in and just made some fucking awesome hero shooter that was better than Overwatch, I'd be done for. But as details in the game came out more and more, and especially when the trailer dropped, people realized that this is more of a CSGO clone with Overwatch inspiration, more than like a direct competitor of Overwatch. So it didn't end up really mattering. Now don't get me wrong, Valorant is a huge game. Some of these games that are called Overwatch Killers are massive games. Now another one I do want to mention is Deadlock. A couple months ago I started playing that game a ton, and I really did like it, and I was gonna make that kind of the final point of this video, saying, you know, maybe Deadlock is an Overwatch Killer, but I stopped playing it. It got kind of miserable. It is a fun game. I'm really excited for it. But now that I think about it more, I don't think a MOBA can ever count as an Overwatch Killer. The whole MOBA crowd, it's kind of its own sect. They're a little insane. They're their own kind of people. But it was a very fun game when I played it, and I'll probably still play it, but it definitely didn't stick as long as Overwatch did for me. But even with these games with these huge player bases, they never really captured the same audience that Overwatch always did. And it got me thinking, the concept of an Overwatch Killer is kind of futile, because Overwatch is more than just a great game. And don't get me wrong, I do think it was a great game. It had insane polish. It could run on almost anything. The character design was great. I think the maps are fantastic. Even some of the most hated ones like Hanamura and Temple of Anubis and basically any 2CP map. I loved the feel of that game. It was just so fun to play. But beyond how fun of a game it was, it's more about the experience that everybody had with it. I really think that not very often do games capture the whole world like that. If you go back to 2016, everybody was playing it. All of my friends were playing it. And I've started to realize now how hard it is to find a game that you and all of your friends are willing to play, and this game was that. It really was. And I think the idea for an Overwatch Killer, it would have to be something that captures the world in the same way, that captures your feelings and your nostalgia in the same way, or brings you back to that time where you could just hop on this game and everybody thought it was fun, everybody was excited to try out these new things. There wasn't this negativity that there is with the game now. The game, I mean, like every game, got pretty sweaty. I mean, I was trying, I was grinding the ranks, I was getting in the mines. That number meant a whole lot to me. It was my self-worth as a human. And at the end of the day, I think if any game would be an Overwatch Killer, it would be Overwatch. If you don't understand what we all went through, they stopped releasing content for the game for years. No new characters, no new maps. I can't even remember, maybe some seasonal events. Oh wow. But nothing of substance. Not only did it kind of make the game start to feel stale, but it also made everyone lose all hope. They felt like they'd been abandoned. And of course, they eventually announced Overwatch 2, but even I feel like at its most positive reception, the whole idea of Overwatch 2 didn't make a whole lot of sense to people. What is new about this game? What did you need to drastically change? I feel like people already like the old game. Did people even want a PvE experience? they put a lot of emphasis on this campaign. But I'm not gonna lie, in all my years of playing Overwatch and doing all those shitty seasonal PvE events, I don't think anybody was asking for a whole campaign of it. But apparently it was a big deal to them, and it did look kind of cool. Some characters had like special abilities that they can use in the campaign, and I feel like that would be a fun thing to use for maybe like balancing or just, I don't know, trying new stuff out. It wasn't a horrible idea, but I don't think it's anything that anybody wanted. And the price that we paid for this potential campaign was really just sucking the life out of the original game for years. And when Overwatch 2 finally did come out, did we have a campaign? No. Did we have any new maps? Yeah. But we also took away old classic maps like 2CP ones because people didn't like the game mode, which is just ridiculous because Hanamura and Temple of Anubis are some of the most iconic Overwatch maps ever. And the fact that they cease to be playable in the normal quick play or competitive is insane to me. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how that happened. And if you were in the Overwatch scene and, you know, from 2016 to 2019, I mean, people really loved Jeff Kaplan. You know, we call him Daddy Jeff. Everybody loves Daddy Jeff. But from what I've heard recently, it seems that it might have been his idea to sort of keep the team all together and switching them over to Overwatch 2 and kind of leaving Overwatch 1 to die. I kind of understand, you know, he wanted the team to stick together, to all be focused on the same goal, but I think ultimately, now that we see what happened with Overwatch 2 and the fact that the campaign never came out and the game is dying, that it probably wasn't the right decision, but I mean, hindsight's 2020. But yeah, I mean, after years of mismanagement and a new monetization model that I know is industry standard, but everybody preferred the old system of just buying the game and getting everything for free. I really think that the Overwatch Killer is just itself. Now, that is what I thought about a month ago. But then I started playing Marvel Rivals. Look, I'm not gonna be a total bandwagon here. 3 months ago, I was talking so much shit about that game. I thought it looked terrible. A week before the game came out, I was talking shit. I said it looked terrible. Day of, my friends were playing it. I said, that game looks like shit. It looks terrible. But then I started playing it, and my first impression, it was a little fun. It was a little fun. I like Star-Lord. I love Tracer, same thing. I thought it was a fun character. I thought it was maybe possibly a fun game, something I'd just play a little bit. I'll continue to be honest. Even playing it, I was talking so much about this game. I said that it wasn't as polished as Overwatch, which is true. I said it ran like shit, which is true. And I said that some of the mechanics that they have that are fun would make it a worse competitive experience, which is still sort of true, and I'll get into that. But undeniably, as I played the game more and more, and I found some characters that really speak to me, I realized that it's pretty great. It's a good game. I think the final nail in the coffin for me was when I really just started to boot up competitive and give it a shot again. And I'm here to tell you, I got that feeling again. I really did. I'm smiling right now. I can't stop. I've been having so much fun with the game. And most importantly, I've been having so much fun with my friends. I remember the days of playing competitive Overwatch with my friends, everybody wanting to get on, to grind, to just, you know, go at it and really learn this game. And I'm getting that with my friends again, and we're all really into it, and we all have this consensus of like, I want to play this game, and it's awesome. But once again, just like in the past, my self-worth is determined by that damn little emblem by my name, and I love it. That's not to say that there's not problems, okay? There are some fundamental problems. Like I said, one, the game runs like shit. I don't have a supercomputer, okay? I'm humble, all right? I have a 2070 Super. That's pretty old. I only have 16 gigs of RAM. I should probably upgrade that too. But this game doesn't look that good. I should still be able to run it fine. It doesn't look any better than Overwatch. It doesn't look better than Call of Duty, which at least fucking functions. But the amount of times I've locked in as Hawkeye, I'm sorry, I love Hawkeye, whatever, and I've tried to shoot my fucking tree trunks at 6 invisible women, except they're not all invisible women. It's fucking infuriating, all right? The game should not be that hard to run. NetEase, for the love of God, fix your game. 2, I think in general, some balancing issues. I'm not gonna lie, I think I think some characters just have an insane amount of mobility. Spider-Man, he's annoying, but I guess it makes sense. Venom should not be moving like that. That dude fucking teleports all across the screen all the time. It's absolutely infuriating. It makes no sense. They really need to smooth things out, which I guess is back to my last complaint. But it's a balance thing. Way too much mobility. I think they do have some good ideas about balancing. I think more specifically, there's a couple characters where I feel like they're definitely copies from Overwatch, but they find interesting ways to sort of like fix the annoying parts of them. More specifically, like Hawkeye. I think it's really cool that he can't just like spam down like the longest choke point of all time and get random dink headshot one-shot kills. I understand he can still do some just decent chunk like spam damage, but the fact that he has to just kind of stay locked in on a target for a while, or at least be in that sort of range to get full damage is a great mechanic, and it's something that I think Overwatch definitely should have thought of a long time ago. But new game, new mechanics, I think they do have some good ideas, but overall, just some weird balancing things. I hate reses, and that kind of moves into my last thing that I need to say about my problems with this game. Use Overwatch. Learn from the lessons of the past. Reses are annoying in every way that you can think of. The amount of times I've got an incredible pick and it just does not matter is insane. In any sort of competitive experience, it is not fun. You need to tone them down. Like, dead stop, it's miserable. 2, I think you don't need to do it exactly like Overwatch. You don't need a strict like 2-2-2, but I do think a roll lock would help a lot in this game. It's just an undeniable fact. If you lock into a competitive game and no one wants to play healer and you're all being stubborn, it's just miserable. And I think that's this weird idea that you logging on a comp means you're like clocking into work. It means you have this, responsibility to other people.
Don't worry, team, we got this shit.
Yo, Hawkeye, stupid fuck. Go healer.
This ain't a fucking job, bro. I came to play the character I want to play. I don't give a fuck
This
what
ain't
you
a
want.
fucking job, bro. I came to play the character I want to play.
Dude, look, man. Scoreboard.
Competitive just means I want to play with people who are sort of my similar skill level to have an actual balanced match. Because quick play is miserable. I mean, sometimes I fucking shit on them, and then sometimes they fucking shit on me. It's hardly ever an actually good match. Most of the time, it's just a bunch of nonsense. So I log on a competitive to have a decent experience, and I do try, and I do care. And me personally, I am someone who is willing to switch. I'm pretty good at support, but if they want me to switch tank, I'm literally throwing. Like, I'm throwing. I'm horrible at tank. Like, I'm very, very confident that I can play DPS and support at the same level, but other than that, I mean, making me switch off to something and making me not have fun for the next 20 minutes kind of removes the video game aspect of it, where I'm supposed to have fun. So I think roll lock does eliminate that, and people will scream about creativity and all that kind of stuff, and they did that with Overwatch too. Yeah, it's just annoying. Like, just implement some sort of system. Like I said, doesn't have to be 2-2-2, but something that makes the game more playable. Maybe there has to be at least one of each. That would make it a little better. I would kind of like that system. I don't know. I think randomness in an environment is kind of annoying. Overwatch learned that lesson. They definitely implemented some stuff in maps to where being able to get to certain areas wasn't random anymore. You could always kind of choose it. And I think that kind of ties in a little bit to the destructive environments. I think destroying stuff is cool, but whenever I'm playing Star-Lord and I'm chasing down a dude and then I get blocked off by this giant whole structure reforming, I'm pretty pissed off. That kind of randomness is usually something that I would say to stray away from in any even remotely competitive experience. And we'll have to see with this dev team. We haven't really seen too much about what they're willing to do, what they want to do. There's a few things that I've commented on that they said they won't change, but who knows? I'm hoping they change their mind. But yeah, it is a really fun game. I'm having a ton of fun. And if you are an Overwatch diehard like I am, and you are kind of not wanting to try this out, just do it. It's not the same, but it is giving me that same feeling. I'm really happy to enjoy a game again. Yeah, just be willing to put some time into it. Let me know what you think in the comments, any gripes you have with Marvel Rivals, if you're ever going to go back to Overwatch. I still think I might, but for right now, I think Marvel Rivals is it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.